breathing, ma'am.
There were days I don't know why you got me capsized. It's only in hindsight I realize.
I like being back in your state, Tanya.
It feels good to be home.
Home.
It's a quaint little town.
We're in Tanya's home state of Ohio to assist the Springfield Police Department to help them investigate the 2015 murder of a young mother named Candace Prunty. She was only 26. She was raising 3 little boys by herself, talking about moving to another state, had a good job.
She was fun-loving. Everybody seemed to love her. She would light up a room when she'd walk in.
Candace Prunty is described by her friends as full of life, making everybody laugh, the most fun person you could ever want to be around, and a great friend. But to her, the most important thing in her life were her 3 young boys.
You can tell that she was all about her children, which makes that even more heartbreaking.
On October the 21st, 2015, when Candace did not pick up her boys from school, her mom became concerned, so she went to check on Candace at home, and that's when she walked in on the horrifying discovery of Candace lying on the kitchen floor, shot 6 times.
At the time that this happened, she's being vandalized and her car is being damaged, and it's like, this is no random person that's doing that to you.
No.
3 months before her murder, Candace's house was vandalized multiple times. So clearly someone was angry and targeting her.
Her mom, all these years, has been trying to just figure out a way to get something to happen on it. Can you imagine being so desperate that you put up a damn billboard?
Pleading for help from the public to solve your daughter's murder. I just can't fathom that.
It's the worst thing in life because you're supposed to bury your parents, but you're not supposed to ever bury your baby.
No.
Ever.
Oh,
look how dressed up y'all are.
How you doing?
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to Springfield.
Nice to meet you.
Detective Ron Jordan. Good to meet
Nice
you,
to meet
Tanya.
you.
Detective Dan DeWine,
Nice
how are
to
you?
meet you.
We appreciate you guys being here and offering your assistance.
Y'all got a good place to work?
Yeah, welcome in.
Thanks.
I was there from day one, almost 6 years ago. I responded to the scene.
Nice and bright.
I immediately felt a sense of sadness for her and her family. Just lying there, a young lady whose life was unfortunately taken by the hands of someone. It's touched me ever since then. Over the past several years with this case, it's been close to me, to be honest with you.
Yeah. You can tell.
To have a young lady with young kids and to lose that, it just isn't fair. It's not fair to her, it's not fair to her boys, it's not fair to her friends, it's not fair to her mom.
I know. Do you have daughters?
I do.
Do you?
Yes, too.
You know, and I have 2. And it's your nightmare, right?
It is.
At that time, what was going on in Candace's life?
She was 26 years old. She's a young mother of 3 young boys. A happy young lady with a big, beautiful smile, and just a lot of fun to be around. Everyone enjoyed her company.
Where are her boys living now?
They are with their fathers.
At the time of her murder, Candace was living in her sister's house. She was a single working mom finishing up a business degree. She loved her children and being independent.
Okay. You want to start with running the case down to us?
On October 21st of 2015, our dispatch center received a call from family members of our victim, Candace Prunty. Her mother, sister, and aunt entered the home and found Candace there, lying in a puddle of her own blood in the kitchen near the cabinets. She'd been shot 6 times with a .38 special or .357. We searched through the residence, and her cell phone was missing. We began talking to friends and family. They're just tossing out names of people that she knew that were in her inner circle.
Because they have no idea who could have done it.
No idea.
While still at the scene, police contacted Isaiah Elliott, father of 2 of Candace's sons. He was confirmed to be in Georgia at the time. Police also learned of a man that Candace dated earlier that year, Thomas Albert from Columbus, Ohio.
We learned that Mr. Albert was actually on parole for some prior cases, rape and abduction charge. So at that point, we thought he may be a person of interest that we would want to talk to. So probably around midnight that night on the 21st into the 22nd, Columbus SWAT surrounded the residence, and he tried to take off out the back door of the residence and was detained. He advised that he would need an attorney and refused to talk to me.
What happened next?
We obtained a search warrant to search the residence of Thomas Albert. Just so happened in the basement behind the furnace sat a cell phone belonging to Mr. Albert, a ski mask, and a small box 20 round 38 special. From this 20 round box, 6 rounds were missing.
Although the police department found bullets in Thomas's home that were the same caliber as the ones used to shoot Candace, they were not able to find either the gun or her cell phone. Because of that, they didn't feel like they had enough to move forward with the case. All that being said, Thomas Albert is still to this day the primary suspect. He meets Candace in May of 2015.
They met at a club here in town, and the relationship kind of blossomed.
The relationship seemed to progress fast.
Yeah.
Probably beginning to mid-July, Candace decided that she didn't want to be in this relationship anymore. She and Isaiah started to talk again, and at that point, her goal was for Isaiah to get established in Atlanta, and she was going to move down there with the boys.
It appears that Candace was moving on from Thomas Albert, but did he feel the same way? Because if he didn't, that sure sounds like a possible motive.
Trying to figure out his psyche, his mentality, the way he ticks. Are there any other stories or victims that help us know that?
The most recent one in 2017, he's arrested for multiple charges stemming from an attempted murder case of another female in Columbus, Ohio. She was cut and stabbed 8 to 9 different times.
And he gets sentenced to what?
He got sentenced to a total of 28 years.
Thomas Albert is not eligible for release until 2045. If he is charged, Thomas Albert would be very likely to go to trial, so we need to explore anything that might give a defense attorney the right to explore reasonable doubt in this case. So the whole idea, could it have been a random intruder, right?
Yes. In July of 2015, there had been several incidents of vandalism to her vehicle and her home.
3 months before her murder, Candace's house was vandalized 4 different times over the course of a week. For 2 of them, Isaiah was there spending the night. Rocks were thrown through the windows, her car was spray painted, her and Isaiah's tires were flattened. The final incident was a Molotov cocktail being thrown through the window, setting fire to her kitchen.
Somebody's obviously upset. It's not a random attack.
Okay, and it's not just her car, it's also whose car?
Isaiah's car. Possibly someone was upset with him. She decided then to get away from that house and move in with her sister.
Candace reported these incidences to the police, but she never did name a suspect. Could it have been Thomas? Could it have been someone else that Candace dated? Could it have been one of Isaiah's exes? Whoever it was, we need to know if they were mad enough to kill Candace.
I feel good about this one. We're gonna make Ohio proud this time.
Your love cut so deep, got a hold of me. It's got a hold of me, and I can seem to fight no more.
You're taking us to meet Candace's mom, Patricia.
Yeah, over the years, we've talked so much. She always calls me brother. Whenever she calls me and leaves me a message, she says that I'm forever a part of their family. I made a connection with this family, and I told Candace's mother, please don't give up. We will go through this together. I'm not going anywhere until I see this through. I don't want to let her down, let their family down, and it's been the driving factor for me to give this family some closure. Hey there.
Hello, ladies. Y'all know this man, huh?
We love that man. Yes, we do.
I think he loves y'all too, from what I've been hearing.
Good to see you.
Ooh, I don't know. Under these circumstances,
I know.
this is kind of rough.
I know.
And speaking about her in the past tense, that's still difficult. Speaking about Candace in the past tense.
How'd you come up with that name?
Her dad actually did that.
Yeah?
Yes, people used to always say, Candace.
How many kids do you have, Miss Patricia?
I birthed 3.
Which one was Candace?
My baby.
Baby.
Huh?
You want to talk about her?
happy child. She always had a smile on her face. That's what she was known for, this beautiful smile. I remember when she was little and I would walk her to school, she would be picking flowers the whole time we're walking, and I'd watch her go through the door and she would turn around and give me the flowers and say, "Give these to my dad." I thought she was picking them for me. Candace was a special child. She was silly, just boogles and boogles of friends. And I love her past the moon. And if I could have her back. It's hard for the both of us. And then the fact that we found her, right? I bent over her and I looked at her. Her skin was kind of grayish. And I told her, I reach out and I touched her foot. She was cold. And I seen a little hole in her stomach. But it's almost been 6 years. And I'm trusting Detective Jordan to do all he can to try to get to the bottom of this.
Y'all keep praying that finally something will happen.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Our real crime scene is Latasha's house. She doesn't live there anymore. I understand they found us a place. They're going to try and build it out with the right dimensions.
Nice. I want to see where the back door is in proximity to where we know the struggle happened.
When Candace Prunty was shot in 2015, she was living in her sister's house because of a series of vandalism incidences that caused her to live in fear of staying at her own house.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Oh, it's pretty. Good morning. We've set up a mock crime scene in the hopes of recreating the shooting to see if we can determine whether or not Candace's ex-boyfriend, Thomas Albert, or an unknown person is responsible.
So this here would be the front porch. Here's the kitchen sink, cabinets on the wall, and then the lower cabinets here. This opening leads you into the mudroom, and then here would be the back door with a storm door and entry door.
She ends up like right here, right?
Right by the cabinet.
So the space we're talking about where the whole thing happened is just feet.
Yeah.
You went down to the basement. What did you see from that angle?
Lots of blood through the floor joist. There's an area of blood, probably as close as big as this table.
That would have taken some time for that to leak all the way down through there and puddle in the basement.
Based on her routine, police believe that Candace dropped her kids off at school, ran some errands, she returned home that morning, and was killed shortly after that. Since the front door was still locked, it's believed her killer entered and exited out the back door.
I'm gonna be her coming to the front door, right? You be the shooter at the back door.
Okay.
She comes in, she's locking the front door. She sets her purse down. So she's just gonna go through here to enter the knock at the door. She opens it up,
And he's there.
and there he is. Yeah, there he is.
Even if he just showed her the gun, that's the power play there, because I really feel that she's backing up.
And this is
you
as
know.
far as she ever gets, y'all think. She never gets any further once the gun is pulled out. Okay. This is the shot that goes here.
Yeah.
And then what happens? When's the next one? A little closer. Down here. And we think by now she's falling her down, right?
For sure.
Now this would be the fourth shot. Through and through to the arm, and it goes down and it hits the cabinet, causes the cabinet to splinter into her hair. It's at this point, I believe, he walked past her into the living room, grabs her phone. As he's walking back, she's lying there, she's moaning, she's in bad shape. He then... And that's how we get the downward angle, and they recovered it at the bottom base of her neck. The other round, it's essentially recovered from the top of her brain.
Okay.
It seems the perpetrator's intent was solely to kill. So it's odd they took the time to rifle through Candance's purse to take her cell phone. What was on that phone that the killer didn't want police to see? We've asked our digital forensic expert to analyze data from her phone, as well as Thomas Albert's, which was recovered from his home.
All right, thank you very much for hooking this up. I think that worked out very well.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
When you look at crimes that Thomas committed, he didn't use a gun. So if he did kill Candance, this just shows how much more obsessed he was with Candance, how much madder he was. But it could also mean that Thomas wasn't the one who killed him.
Kelly, this is Chanel Chosno over here. She was a good friend to Candance.
Candance's friends were involved since the very night they found her, and they were instrumental in right away helping identify Thomas Albert as being possibly the person who killed her.
She's just friendly, like she never met a stranger. She was very loud. Her laugh, her general conversation, everybody loved her.
We're hoping that they know very intimate details about Candance's relationship with Thomas. So there came a time when she met Tommy.
He was a gentleman. He was very chivalrous. So it was so shocking that he turned into this completely different, crazy person.
It was never a relationship. It was literally just sex. And just to put it plainly,
How do you know that?
I know that because she was planning on moving to Georgia to be with the father of her children. Candace was very honest. She was probably too honest with him. Because she told him how she felt. She was getting back with Isaiah.
Ooh, how do you take that?
Originally, he played the nice role. He started showing up to, wanting to take her out, her declining it, coming with gifts, her making him take them back.
He wasn't letting go. He invested time into this person, and she was not going to be with him.
He was pissed. He would start to get kind of nasty towards her.
Popping up at her house, he was really controlling. He used to send her text messages. If I can have you, nobody can.
She was getting to the point damn, I cannot get this from calling me. He's harassing me. He won't stop calling my phone. I'm at work.
Why didn't she want to just be ruder about it?
I don't, because Candace wasn't a rude girl. That just wasn't her personality. I think she was scared of him.
How do you know she was scared?
Oh, we definitely talked about it.
I don't know her to be scared of anyone, so for her to have a fear for this man, it really bothered me because she's not scared of something not right.
She definitely seemed worried, I don't know what he's going to do next.
It seems that Candance was having a hard time breaking up with Thomas because she was trying to balance placating him with not angering him, all during the course of trying to get away. And the one thing that I've learned after all these years is there ain't no good way to break up with a bad man. On October 21st, when you heard how it happened,
I don't know, just shocked. I just couldn't believe it. I just remember it so vividly and so clearly, but it seemed like it's been forever. Yes. It's up. 6 years is a long time to wait for justice. When you know from day one what it was. Some of the homes and everything still around Columbus are beautiful.
I love Columbus. We've learned that our suspect, Thomas Albert, was upset about his breakup with Candance, which could be a motive for murder. So we want to learn more about his history of violence. In 2017, Thomas Albert attempted to murder Nicole Pellerin. He's currently incarcerated for that attack.
Nicole? Hey, Detective DeWine.
Thankfully, she's willing to speak to us about the incident, because there may be some parallels between that attack and Candance's murder.
I know you had an incident with Thomas. How often did you guys see each other then?
A couple times a week. He was very controlling and very, weird. He would text me and I wouldn't answer him, and he would just pop up out of nowhere on the side of the building and, be like, you're coming with me, and, no, I'm not. It was just really crazy. He was just really possessive. He texted me like, yo, you gonna come to my house? I'm like, no, bye. And the next night, he texted me from a different number, pretending to be somebody else. So I was like, I'll meet you. As soon as I got almost to Livingston, he came out from behind a telephone pole and stripped me out of my clothes, dragged me up these stairs, and just started slicing me in my face. And I held my hand. He cut me there. I was just covered in blood. Blood was squirting out everywhere. I was just drenched in blood. And luckily, there was a woman that heard me outside, like, screaming, somebody call 911, I'm gonna die. Please, somebody help me, call 911. And luckily, she called 911 because she didn't have blood to death up there.
Was he saying anything to you during that?
No, he was just slicing me. He took my phone, took the money, and took my drugs, and left me for dead.
Not only did Thomas aggressively pursue and ambush Nicole, he also stole her phone after the attack, just like Candance's killer did. If Thomas did kill Candance, this could be his MO.
Well, I appreciate it. So,
You're welcome.
okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Maybe he takes his victims' phones so they can't call for help. Maybe he's stealing them for profit. Or maybe he's taking them as a trophy. Whatever the reason, it's a nice piece of circumstantial evidence, potentially tying him to Candance's murder.
We're going to reach out to Kendra Johnson. She was someone that Candance knew.
Sounds good. Thomas Albert is clearly violent and capable of killing Candance, but was he her only enemy? We need to learn more about the extreme vandalism that was committed at her home, to try to identify who's responsible and if it was connected to her murder.
Hello.
Hey, Kendra, this is Detective Jordan. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Candance did not name a suspect to police, but hopefully she told those close to her who she thought was responsible.
First of all, what was your relationship with Candance? How did you know her?
She's actually my cousin.
Did you guys talk quite a bit with one another?
Yeah, we were reaching out almost every day.
At some point, some things started happening. What did she tell you, especially with you guys being as close as you are?
One night, I called her. It was like between the hours of 2 and 3 in the morning. And she's like, somebody just threw a rock through my front window and spray painted in my car, Isaiah's car, and flattened all my tires. So by the time I got there, Isaiah and her were cleaning it up. She comes outside and somebody sprayed it. It was in black. And it says, you're still effing her on her car.
Do you recall her having any enemies?
Never. So we had it in our minds that it was one of Isaiah's, females. At that time, they were kind of, on their little back and forth kind of thing. So
Sure.
he'll get caught up with other females or something like that.
The vandalism seems like the actions of a scorned ex. According to Kendra, Candance wasn't the only one with angry exes.
I'm just glad you never gave up.
Nah, heck no.
It's always in the center of my head, whether you were to call me or not. It's still there.
You guys spent quite a bit of time together, right?
We just grew up together. We was close.
Zanisha Curtis, Candance's cousin, had a close relationship with her. We're hoping that she has further insight as to who was responsible for the vandalism.
Did she share with you why this was happening or who might have been doing it?
She said she thought it's someone that Isaiah was messing with at the time. She never thought it was a man. So that's all she kept saying. It's one of these bitches. Excuse my mouth. You're false. One of these bitches. The spray painting, that's female act.
Sure.
That's stuff females do.
It seems Candance thought one of Isaiah's exes, not Thomas, was responsible for vandalizing her home. If these acts are related to her murder, we might have another suspect on our hands.
When she moved out her house, I don't know if she knew who it was, but she knew whoever it was getting real. Like, they wasn't playing.
So now we're going to go see Isaiah. 2 of the extraneous vandalisms are with him in the house.
Right.
We're considering that the acts of vandalism at Candance's home and her murder were committed by the same person.
Hey, Isaiah, this is Kelly
How are
Siegler.
you?
She's assisting me with this case.
Isaiah was there for 2 of the 4 vandalism nights. Maybe he has some idea who's involved. So how'd you meet Candance?
We met like in 2010.
Okay.
And ever since that day, we've been stuck. It was like the bomb. Like, I knew I wanted to be with her. And honestly, it was just beautiful. Like, that was living my life.
All right, so the vandalism happens on the 13th, 14th, 15th, and 19th. So on July the 13th, go through that night with us. What happened?
It was upstairs asleep. The next thing you know, we just hear like hopped up, like she ran to the kids and I ran downstairs and it's this big old boulder through the front window.
How big was that thing?
Man, it was huge. I run back upstairs and tell her that she's looking out the window. She's like, look at the cars. Spray paint on the side of her truck. I see you her still. My tires was cut. Hers was cut.
Not just put flat, cut.
No, the tube.
The valve stem?
Yeah, those was cut.
Do you go looking around trying to see if you can catch somebody running away?
Yeah.
And
I think.
saw nobody.
Nope. They thought it was the girl who I was messing with or whatever.
Okay.
But it wasn't. Like, the guy who did my tires, he was like, I don't expect a female to do that. That's a guy.
You right away knew it wasn't any girl.
Right.
Okay.
Like, I knew right away.
Isaiah did not see the perpetrator that night, but he feels pretty sure that it was a man who committed this crime. But right now, we can't rule anything out. And then the Molotov cocktail night happens. And what happened? What'd y'all do?
I moved her to her sister's house. I was like, no, we just need to leave. Like, just start over. Brand new, like, new city. So the plan was I go first, go to Georgia, I get the spot. So, in October, she wanted to come see me.
She was just coming down for a visit?
Coming down for a visit. And she told him I was leaving to Georgia to go see Isaiah. I was like, why would you tell him that?
How close is that to when she ends up murdered on October 21st?
Real close. Her birthday's the 4th. Had to be between that.
The 4th and the 21st. So a matter, a little over 2 weeks.
Yeah.
In the weeks before the murder, Candace told Thomas about her plans to go to Georgia. When you consider how upset he already was with the fact that she was trying to break up with him, it makes you wonder if this would have angered him even more. So at that time, the boys were how old?
4 and 1. Rashad doesn't remember. Sean, in the beginning, that was the hardest. Sorry.
Okay.
You're fine.
That was the hardest. Because he was, no, he asked for his mom. And we both missing that person. Y'all crying together. I didn't know how I was gonna make it.
What did you say?
Mom was in heaven. She's proud of you. She's so proud of you. She loves you.
We'll go through that doorway. Yeah, right here. Yep.
Candace moved in with her sister Latasha in July following those acts of vandalism and was living there in the months leading up to the murder. Talk about your sister.
She was my baby. A very straight to the point person, no filter. That's what I loved about her.
If there were any incidences involving Thomas Albert closer to her murder, we're hoping that her sister Latasha knows something about it. What's a discussion y'all have about why she's needing to move in with you?
When the cocktail got through the window, I went over there and I told her, y'all coming with me. I think she was scared, but I think she was trying to hold it all together. I don't think she was really realizing, like, this is really happening.
So she never had a true appreciation of how much of a creepy stalker he was.
Right. He had some flowers for her. I believe it was roses. And I called her and I told her. She was like, I told him, I don't want to see him. I'm trying to get away from him. I remember when he came over my house that Sunday before, and a knock on the door. It's Tommy. I'm like, what you doing here? I go out on the porch. He's just like, I just want to give this to your sister. He had a coat, a black, fashionable coat. And I'm like, she don't want that. We don't want that. We don't need you. Don't ever come back. Get off my porch. So he tried to step.
Like he got puffed up.
I'm like, no. You don't want to do that. So he leaves. He walks away.
3 days before the murder, Thomas Albert showed up at Latasha's house, desperate to win Candace back. He was refused. He was rejected. As we've learned, he does not take well to rejection.
Sometimes I think, I shouldn't have puffed up at him. He took it out on my sister, Sometimes I feel guilty. I
don't think anything you could have said or did any differently would have changed anything. It's like a train coming down the tracks. He was not going to leave her alone.
Yeah, I believe that.
You're not going to have DNA or a confession here with this kind of a suspect, but this is just like huge, right?
Yes, ma'am.
When Candace was killed, her cell phone was mysteriously taken from her house. So we don't have her cell phone, but we do have all the cell phone data from that phone. We also have all the cell phone data from Thomas Albert's phone that was recovered from his house.
Morning.
How you doing?
How are y'all?
Good to see you.
Devlin. Nice to
Good
meet you.
Our digital forensics expert, Eric Devlin, has analyzed all the cell phone data with the very latest cell phone technology. It's time for us to see what he's discovered.
Let's start with the cell phone forensics. There are a bunch of text messages between her and the suspect. 9:28.
Less than a month before she gets murdered.
You're correct. This is the suspect saying, "What do you want to be, texting and phone friends?" She makes a reply. "Yep, just texting and phone friends for now. That's it." He replies, "I miss you, boo. Just don't know what to do. Why aren't you understanding? I've explained where we stand at least 10 times. And then here's his reply. I love this one. "Are we still gonna
Oh my God.
So, very clear.
It's crystal clear. For weeks, Candace responded to Thomas's texts, trying to get him out of her life. And time after time, Thomas wouldn't respect her boundaries and kept pushing for more.
Last message that he actually sends her. Do you hate me, Candace?
Which is Monday? Is this Monday?
Yeah, that
Yes.
was
2 days before the murder. Do you hate me?
And she didn't reply. However, he does call her 10:20, 7:52 a.m., and 8:02 a.m. And there's no indication she answered.
Texting is done. He tries to call her. She
Correct.
doesn't answer.
Correct.
Tuesday, so then Wednesday, it happens.
Correct.
It's one thing to hear about Candace and Thomas's relationship from all of Candace's friends and family.
It was never a relationship. It was literally just sex. She told him how she felt. She was like, I'm trying to get away from him.
But this is clear evidence in their own words. There's no better way to tell the story of their relationship than what we're looking at right now.
Moving on, we're going to talk a little bit about the cell tower stuff, which y'all wanted me to look at. These records disappear, so you did a good job going and preserving and grabbing them when you did. You gave me a couple dates to focus on the vandalism. Then you gave me a few significant locations. You have his residence. And then here's Candace's house. This gives you some reference as to how far apart they are. Somewhere around 48 miles. So July 13th, the date of the vandalism, spray painting the cars, somewhere around 2:50 to 3:25 in the morning. This is the Thomas's phone. He hits at 12:49, 104, 119 in Columbus as if he's heading out. That appears to be the normal roadway going from Columbus to Springfield, is that correct?
Yes.
Then the next time I pick him back up, hits up right about the same tower, 3:24 in the morning. So there's a pretty big gap in there. The phone, in this point in time, my opinion is it's off.
The cell phone's turned off at the time of the occurrence.
Yeah.
So moving to July 14th, this is one of the rock through the windows. The incident occurs between 11 and 11:04. And so 11:01 and there's 11:16. He's hitting up at the tower within approximately a mile of her house.
So he didn't turn his phone off that time.
He did not. So July 15th, another one of the rock incidences. Incident occurs between 3:50 and 4 a.m. 3:38, he's sitting over there, same particular cell tower. Still there at 3:51. Still there at 3:53. Here's your July 19th. This is what appears to be an arson, 10 p.m. He's hitting off that tower about 8:11, an hour and 50 minutes before. The important part, if he's at home, he's not going to be hitting off of her towers. I mean, you're so far apart.
It also shows that he had to sustain whatever anger or jealousy for 48 miles, give or take,
At some
to
point,
drive.
those people would
I'd
cool
be
off.
like,
and
you know
say,
what, just forget it.
Yeah.
Right.
The cell tower data confirms what we suspected. Thomas Albert committed those acts of vandalism. But the real question is, what was he doing on the morning of October 21st?
You want to turn to the homicide date? 10/21/2015, 8:07 in the morning. He is hitting here off a tower right near where he lives, in Columbus. 8:22, 8:37. Appears to be he's driving.
Heading down Highway 70.
Heading west to Springfield.
9:07 in the morning, he is hitting off the tower that covers the murder location. 9:52, still hitting off
30
that same
minutes
tower.
later.
He just waited for her, like nearby her house.
Yeah, just wait for her to come home.
In 07, he's leaving. So 70, as if he's heading back to his house.
Thomas's cell phone is hitting off a tower right near Candace's house at the time we believe she was killed. That's huge. Next up, we want to talk about her missing phone.
Candance's phone. This is the LG phone that's not found in her home when she's killed. 9:10 a.m. She is hitting off the tower near her house. There's a break in communication. Then all of a sudden, at 11:32 in the morning, I have an incoming call that appears to be answered and hung up. So this whole call lasts 3 seconds. Her phone is connecting to the tower, right near where he lives.
You don't need a confession. The cell phone information establishes who committed the vandalisms. You have the text message of the evolving stories of the breakup. You can see the mindset of Tommy through those text messages. And then you have Candance's phone close to Thomas Albert's home an hour after she's killed. It's just a beautiful portrait of the whole case right there with cell phone technology.
Good afternoon, Mr. Driscoll.
Hey, Detective Jordan, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for coming over.
Well, thanks for having me.
This case has been near and dear to Detective Ron Jordan's heart for 6 years. So, who better in the whole wide world to run these facts down to the prosecutor than Ron? The good thing today is that we get to sit in and listen to him do his presentation. We're all so excited.
In the spring of 2015, Candance would meet Thomas Albert in a nightclub here in Springfield. He had a love for her, but she didn't share that same love. She tries to separate herself from him and move on with her life. July, the incidents of vandalism into a Molotov cocktail being thrown through her kitchen window, setting the kitchen on fire. We learned that this is Tommy that's doing this.
If he's at home, he's not going to be hitting off of her towers.
Candance's girlfriends tell us she didn't know what to do, and it scared her.
He would start to get kind of nasty towards her.
If I can have it, nobody can.
She definitely seemed worried, like, I don't know what he's going to do next.
Just 3 days prior to her death, Tommy shows up. Candance's sister Latasha comes out and says she doesn't want to see you.
We don't need you. Don't ever come back. Get off my porch.
On October 21st of 2015.
Is this the same day as the murder?
Yes, later that night.
Right.
We executed a search warrant at his home. We found a box of 38 special ammunition, missing 6 rounds, and she had been shot 6 times.
Same type of ammunition?
Yes. But that icing on the cake, so to speak, was this cell phone technology.
He's hitting off the tower that covers the murder location. Her phone, that's not found in her home, is connecting to the tower, right near where he lives.
There are a lot of things that I've learned during the course of this investigation that gives me no doubt that Mr. Albert is the one that took her life. It took some time, and I kept reassuring her mother that someday I thought we would get there. Well, today, guess what? We are there. I wanted to present these facts to you because this is new information that we've uncovered. And with your blessing, sir, I would like to inform them that we will be filing indictments for murder of Candance Prunty.
I know that this has been one of those that you've been working on for years, and I think we're there. So you send it over to us, and we'll get it indicted for you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Nice, nice. How's that feel?
Feels good. Really does. It's a huge weight off my shoulders that I've carried for the past several years. Thomas Albert will be held accountable for killing Candance, what he did to her and her family, and that is a overwhelming feeling of happiness, to be honest with you.
He needs to die in prison.
Yeah, without question.
In the lonely, I will see all of the loving, all the hope waiting here for me.
Aren't you excited?
I'm very excited.
You know what? I'm excited because I get to watch you tell them. I can't wait to see what they say. This is a good day. As heartbreaking as it was to meet Candance's mother, to be able to deliver to her this news, I don't even know how to describe it.
Well, hello there.
Hi.
How you doing?
These are the times that we live for. This is what it's all about. And we can't wait to bring her this news.
Like I told you several years ago, we'll never give up, and we'll fight this fight until we get the results that your family and Candance's boys deserve. I spoke to our prosecuting attorney, Dan Driscoll, and he has agreed to let this case move forward. And we are going to present this to a Clark County grand jury, and we will be indicting Thomas Albert for the murder of your daughter, Candance Prunty.
Ooh-wee. It's wonderful news. It's been a long journey.
It has.
I'm just grateful. Just grateful. It's like our prayers have been answered.
Yeah. I was so confident that at some point we would get here. Well, now that day has come, and I am happy as hell.
Me too.
Come on, Ma.
I think let's ride the way. For a long time, I didn't think that we were going to get to this point. The news that he was able to give us today is like a little piece of heaven. Even though it doesn't bring her back, it just makes the rest of the day seem easy to get through. And I appreciate that.
How are you thinking about all this today?
It's so overwhelming. I knew there was something. I knew he was working behind the scenes, and I just had to believe. And I knew he's too deep in it emotionally not to be doing something, because he showed us that. He proved himself to be everything he said he was for this case.
And justice for your baby.
Yes.
We are forever connected because of this.
I want to hug you.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for believing in me and trusting me with one of the most important things in your life.
You are truly our family.
It hurts the most. In the dark, see the spark I hold in my hand.
I wouldn't have wanted nobody else on this case but you.
Thank you.
Yes.
That means the world to me. I appreciate it.
You mean the world to us. Yes, you do.
In the dark, see the spark I hold in my hand. I won't let go. Hold on to
On August the 30th, Thomas Albert was indicted for the murder of Candance Prunty along with 8 other related charges.
High school sweethearts on the verge of having it all.
This will be the girls' room.
Oh, it's beautiful. They're gonna love that.
They were in the process of building a new home.
Oh, my Xbox can go right here.
Everyone thought, wow, this is the beginning of your future.
They expect to get married, maybe even have more kids.
Then the unexpected happens.
Hello?
When I first heard that he was reported missing, I was shocked.
He was a man that loved his family. Why would he do something like this? Just disappear without leaving a trace?
Was the devoted family man living a double life?
I just don't know what I've been through. The message implies that this is gang related. I got something.
Or will the cover-up be even worse than the crime?
You can't imagine someone so calculated.
It's not something that anybody would have seen coming.
Arkansas, a tight-knit community an hour southwest of Little Rock.
Arkadelphia is a small town. You're talking about 10,000 people.
There's a lot of family, a lot of community.
Everybody knows everyone.
It's a quiet town. Not a whole lot goes on there.
Although on this particular Saturday, the matriarch of one Arkadelphia family is racked with worry.
Hey, what's up? You reached Dominique. Couldn't answer the phone. Leave a message.
The last time Dominique Whitaker's mother saw her child was on July 4th.
It's your mother. Why aren't you picking up?
2 days later, she hasn't heard from him.
He'd gone to celebrate the 4th of July with his longtime girlfriend, Kayla Nelson, and the couple's 2 children.
Call me when you get this, please.
She hoped there was a simple explanation.
Kayla and the kids were supposed to go to the church Bible camp after the 4th.
She figured, well, maybe Dominique decided to go along with Kayla on this trip.
Either way, Kayla would know.
Hey, Kayla. Sorry to bother you, but I was wondering if I could speak to Dominic.
I thought he was with you.
Born and raised in Arkadelphia, Arkansas, 27-year-old Dominique Whitaker lived a simple life.
Dominique was a quiet, introverted individual.
Dominique was your everyday guy. He went to work, he came home, he was just that laid-back guy.
And when he was home, Dominique was typically in front of his computer.
Oh, yeah.
He was an avid gamer.
Nice try.
He had a lot of gaming contacts, even outside of his small town.
On there, he was able to be himself and let his personality blossom.
But before he was a gamer, he was a prominent athlete.
In high school, he was a star on the basketball court and really had a lot of opportunities to go to a collegiate level on a scholarship.
Dominique's star power gave him other opportunities too, especially in the dating game.
The girls thought he was absolutely wonderful.
But Dominique only had eyes for one young lady, Kayla Nelson.
Kayla had his heart. They became an item in high school.
However, she was far more than just Dominique's girlfriend.
Kayla was extremely intelligent. She would be the only student in some of the more advanced classes that were offered at our school.
She had big dreams of attending school.
Dominique being the star athlete, Kayla being this academic achiever. They're drawn together.
They both had dreams of doing great things.
Until unexpected news changed the course of their lives forever.
They found out in her senior year that she was pregnant.
What do you think we should do?
I don't think we should keep it.
Me too.
They decided they wanted to make a family together with their child. And they have a baby their senior year.
Despite the challenges, Kayla still finished school.
Kayla was the class valedictorian. She graduated with a 4.0.
But further education in college basketball would have to wait.
They decided to put their aspirations as far as furthering their education on hold in order to go to work and be able to provide a life for their child.
Dominique took a factory job while Kayla worked at a local restaurant.
But even with 2 incomes, it was a struggle to get by.
Because of finances, they both had to move back home with their parents. But what they wanted to do was keep things intact and continue to date and see each other and to co-parent their child.
The couple also had a second daughter, which didn't make the family situation any easier.
More finances were required, and it was stressful.
But they was determined to build a better life together.
He worked and was consistent about his work schedule, and she had worked her way up to get an assistant manager's job.
The promotion allowed Kayla to rent a small house on the edge of town, but bigger and better things were on the horizon.
Because of that financial stability, Kayla was in the process of building a new home.
Yeah, so this will be the girls' room.
Oh, it's beautiful. They're gonna love that. What about this room right here? What's this for?
Come here. This is gonna be your gaming room.
They had lived separately for years, and I think Kayla was ready to move forward.
My gaming room. For me? They expect to get married, build this home, maybe even have more kids.
But now, just as they're on the verge of achieving that goal, Dominique's mother hasn't seen or heard from him in more than 48 hours.
He's not with me. I thought he was with you.
Oh?
Kayla also stated that she has not seen Dominic since July the 4th as well.
The last time she saw Dominique was when she dropped him off at Dominique's mother's home.
And Kayla hasn't heard anything from him since.
I don't understand.
At this particular point, everyone becomes a little worried.
That was unlike Dominique.
This is serious and it's time to call the police.
And Nelson were on the verge of seeing their dreams come true.
After years of hard work, Kayla and Dominique was almost finished building a new house for their growing family.
Oh, that's beautiful. They're gonna love that.
They'd spent years raising their kids in separate homes, and this was their chance to all be together under one roof.
Only now, their bright future may be in jeopardy.
Dominic's mom has not heard from Dominic. She reaches out to Kayla to get more information on whether she's seen Dominic or not.
I dropped him off at your place on the 4th.
And she had not heard from him since.
After talking to Kayla, Dominique's mother makes a worried call to the Arkadelphia police.
I need to report my son missing. He would talk to his mother every day, but she hadn't heard from him in 48 hours.
His mother was very worried that something bad had happened to her son.
When detectives arrive,
have a seat, officer.
Dominique's mother insists it's not like her son to just disappear. He kept a very consistent schedule.
And you don't think he just went somewhere on his own?
I don't see how he could.
The average person can disappear. They have a vehicle, they have money, they have credit cards. That's one thing. But Dominique didn't have those things.
After talking to Dominique's mother, the detectives ask to take a look around his bedroom.
This is his room.
Mom states there's nothing that seems abnormal to her.
You know, I can't really tell.
She tells detectives that his girlfriend Kayla would know better than she does, so they tell her to come over.
Hey, Kayla, can you come over and help, please?
When Kayla arrives at the house, she does notice that some small things are missing.
Hi, Kayla.
It was just a few of his items that he would normally wear.
Not really.
Certainly nothing to indicate that he had packed up and gone somewhere.
Kayla also walks investigators through when she last saw Dominique on the 4th.
What time did he come over?
Maybe 8 o'clock. I picked up some sparklers for the kids.
They celebrated the 4th of July together, and after that, she dropped him off at home.
And when was that?
Around 11.
She has not seen him since.
Notice anything out of the ordinary about Dominique's behavior that day?
Not really.
Anyone who knew Dominique knew that he had a pattern where everything was same old, same old.
In fact, there was really only one thing about Dominique that ever changed.
Dominique loved to wear his hair in braids. So his mother would braid his hair and she would decorate his hair with different colored beads.
So he had beads in his hair on the 4th?
Yeah, they were blue.
After taking the missing persons report, detectives return to the station and issue a be on the lookout with Dominique's description and pull his phone records, hoping to locate him.
What the detectives were able to find out is that Dominique Whitaker's cell phone had been turned off the evening of July 4th, which made it very hard at the time to track his whereabouts.
His phone being off isn't the only difficulty detectives face when it comes to tracking Dominique.
He doesn't own a car, and he wasn't on any social media.
He didn't have a bank account. He did not have an ATM card or a debit card to trace.
None of their usual strategies will work.
Out of leads, the detectives turn to the local media.
I was the newspaper reporter who covered this case. When he said the name of the missing person was Dominique Whitaker, my jaw kind of dropped because I actually went to school with Dominique.
Being in a small town, everyone is family.
Once word gets out that Dominique has disappeared, the whole town joins in the hunt for the missing man.
People come together. Everybody wanted to find this young man.
But as days pass with no sign of Dominique, his loved ones struggle to keep the faith.
I can only imagine how challenging it can be for a parent, a sister, a girlfriend, daughters, to not know where Dominique is.
Although as awful as that is, things are about to get worse. On July 15th, 11 days after Dominique disappeared, a man clearing brush for a property owner on the outskirts of Arkadelphia makes a shocking discovery.
As he goes into the area, he smells something that's decomposing. I mean, the stench is strong.
Being out in the woods, you would just simply think it's probably a dead animal.
But as the workman moves closer, he realizes it's not an animal.
When he got closer, he saw a skull.
And right next to the skull are a handful of blue hair beads.
Send someone right away.
Arkansas has found what appears to be human remains.
The worker contacts the property owner contacts the police.
Send someone right away.
The body is badly decomposed, but when detectives arrive, they suspect they've found Dominique.
There was hardly no evidence surrounding this body, but what did show up were those blue beads.
The same blue beads that Dominique's mom had put into his hair, so they knew that this was Dominique.
It will be up to the medical examiner to confirm the identification, but the news that Dominique is most likely dead is a devastating blow for the missing man's family.
They could never imagine something such as this happening to him. There were so many questions.
The news also hits the community hard.
When I got the news that there had been remains found, my jaw dropped yet again. Anytime someone loses their life to a homicide in Arkadelphia, it does take the community by surprise.
And their horror and dismay only intensifies when the autopsy confirms that the dead man is Dominique.
But the real shock is how he died.
Dominique was shot from behind. The 9mm bullet was lodged into his spine.
They also noticed that some of the bones were charred, meaning that whoever killed Dominique tried to burn the body.
Yet the crime scene showed no evidence of a fire, no evidence of burning.
Which indicated to the police that his body had to have been moved to the location where it was found.
But those gruesome details bring detectives no closer to understanding why someone would want to kill Dominique.
Dominique was this quiet, low-risk individual that did not make trouble within the community.
He's a father. He goes to work every day. He has a young lady he's known since high school. They're still seeing each other.
It was hard for the investigators to even find an enemy of Dominique.
But then, 4 days after they find his remains, Dominique's enemies all but reveal themselves.
They received this frantic phone call from Kayla.
I'm at the house. We're building.
Checking in on the progress.
And I found something.
There was a letter that was placed on her door.
I think it might be from whoever killed Dominique.
The message on the door said, quote, "You will be next."
Detectives rush out to the home to meet with Kayla.
The letter was written in red ink.
I found these.
And it was signed, Bloods for Life.
The Bloods, of course, are one of America's most notorious street gangs.
Was it possible Dominique had gotten mixed up with some dangerous people?
The letters say that we killed your boyfriend because he took our drug money.
Police are starting to question whether or not he had any drug affiliation or even any gang affiliation.
Or was there another explanation for the note?
Why would a gang post or even share their contribution to a homicide?
Most individuals who are criminals do not write a letter, and they certainly don't tape it to the door.
In Arkadelphia, Arkansas, the Bloods are not known to have a huge gang presence.
We're definitely not the type of city where gang activity comes into play.
Go home. We'll take care of this.
So something such as this didn't seem plausible or even possible.
For the detectives, there's only one likely explanation for the note.
The killer was trying to throw everyone off.
Although in the process, the killer might have given detectives a clue to their identity.
And the one thing that stood out to them was a reference to protecting the queen.
Detectives were curious if Queen was mentioned because there was another female that should be a person of concern.
Did Dominique possibly have a secret life, a secret lover, maybe someone from his past?
When the detectives follow up with Dominique's friends and family, they learn that there was someone from the past they should take a look at.
During a brief breakup between Kayla and Dominique, he met a young lady.
Her name was Tashana Henderson.
They had briefly dated in 2004, 6 years earlier, but had soon lost touch.
But according to friends and family, Tashana had suddenly resurfaced a few weeks before Dominique's death.
She reaches out to Dominique.
And she had some surprising news.
She said, guess what? We have a baby.
Detectives investigating the murder of Dominique Whitaker have learned that the 27-year-old had a secret.
He has a 4-year-old daughter that no one even knew about.
The little girl is the result of a brief fling Dominique had with a woman named Tashana Henderson.
She and Dominique had lost touch with one another.
A couple of weeks before Dominique was murdered, Tashana was able to track Dominique down.
And so finally, she was able to share with Dominique that he had a 4-year-old.
Could Tashana and her child's sudden reappearance have something to do with Dominique's death?
Maybe there was some anger on Tashana's part, or possibly a dispute over paternity and child support.
If you just have a seat there.
When the detectives bring Tashana in for questioning, she seems surprised by the news that Dominique is dead.
Tashana, we're detectives with a homicide.
There was genuine devastation that Tashana had in that moment.
His body was found in the woods.
It can't be. I just found him.
Tashana was excited to finally have her daughter to meet the father.
According to Tashana, Dominique had been just as excited to meet his little girl.
He was so happy. He thought we lost him.
Lost who?
Tashana says that she'd become pregnant very early in their relationship. But only a few weeks later, she suffered a miscarriage, and she and Dominique had parted ways.
They grieve the loss of their child, and they move on in different directions.
She was trying to heal, trying to get beyond the miscarriage, only to discover a few months later she is still with child.
She found out that she was actually pregnant with twins. One baby passed away, but the other baby was healthy and well.
Tashana says she had been unable to give Dominique the good news.
Dominique had basically disappeared from her life.
The number I had for him was no good, and I couldn't find him on social media.
4 years passed, and now we're around the 2010 mark.
Then she finally said, let me try this search again.
This time, she'd contacted the state's child support office in Arkadelphia.
Child support services in Arkadelphia did locate Dominique.
I called him up and he was so happy.
He was looking forward to meeting his child and working out a plan to co-parent.
Tashana says she was just as thrilled that Dominique would be a part of their daughter's life.
She knew the heart that Dominique had.
She also knew that Dominique would be a good provider.
Of course, there could be complications.
Dominique knew that this was going to be an upheaval because now he and Kayla were finally about to become a unit. They have a new home that was almost being complete.
In Kayla's mind, she had waited all these years for them to be together as a family, for them to come under the same roof, for them to get married, and then this child surfaces out of nowhere.
I can only imagine how angry a person can become hearing that type of news.
And now the detectives wonder how Kayla had taken the news and whether that had anything to do with Dominique's death.
Was this because Kayla finds out that there's another child?
When they bring Kayla in for more questioning, she insists she wasn't angry over the child and that she had nothing to do with Dominique's murder.
Okay, let's start back out on the night of the 4th.
She tells the police that she had no idea of what happened to Dominique.
Walk me through it. Tell me about it that night.
She admits that it wasn't just her, Dominique, and the kids hanging out on the night of the 4th. Another friend of theirs had been there.
His name is Jarrell Yarber.
She said Jarrell is an old friend of hers.
Y'all did the 4th of July thing, and I'm sure the kids knew.
However, Kayla says that not long after the kids went to bed, the evening took an ugly turn.
She stated that Dominique became jealous.
She said that Dominique didn't like the way that Jarrell was always coming around.
Dominique began to question, this is my woman. What is the intent here?
According to Kayla, Dominique suspected there was something going on between them.
Yo, I think it's about time that you leave. Why don't you make it? Come on out in the yard then. Come on.
Kayla said that the guys got into a physical altercation.
Tell me about the fight.
Just a bunch of cousins, and like guys that pushing each other.
Kayla says that eventually Jarrell had backed down and started heading toward his car.
Dominique thought the fight was over.
But according to Kayla, Jarrell had other plans.
Jarrell decided enough of this arguing.
He'd gone to his car and pulled out a gun.
I was screaming no when I saw his hand go up.
Dominique Whitaker's murder. That a man named Jarrell Yarber killed her boyfriend on the 4th of July.
Kayla tells detectives that they ended up in a fight, and Gerald pulled out a gun.
Where did the gun come from?
I guess he was in his car because his trunk was up.
It was stated by Kayla that's when Gerald shot him.
Then what? Just something like, why? Like, why?
Kayla says she watched in horror as Dominique lay on the ground, gasping for air.
How long did he lay there and breathe like that?
It was like hell, like deeper.
Kayla knew that he needed help.
But she said fear kept her paralyzed.
I was scared.
If Jarrell could kill Dominique, Jarrell could kill her.
Kayla says that once Dominique was dead, Jarrell dragged him around the back of the house.
The body's just, on top of the burn patches by my house where I burn trash.
She says that Jarrell wanted to burn the body to get rid of the evidence. So they got fuel and they began to douse it over the body. They grabbed cardboard, they grabbed wood.
How long do you think you set him on fire for?
So we got enough every 30 minutes to an hour or so. My friend.
But according to Kayla, the plan had gone awry.
There was not enough fuel to get rid of the body.
Kayla said the fire really didn't do much other than char Dominique's clothing.
Which meant that Jarrell had to come up with a new plan.
She tells the police that Jarrell took the remains and he left.
Kayla denied that she knew anything about what Jarrell did with Dominique's body.
But is she telling the truth? After Kayla's confession, the detectives place her in a holding cell and bring Jarrell in for questioning.
They take him in and they give him the statement that Kayla had stated.
She said you shot Dominique. No, that's not what happened at all.
You tell detectives I was not even there when he was murdered.
But he knows who was.
Jarrell states that it was Kayla that had shot Dominique.
How do you know that? She told me.
Jarrell claims that he was at home on the night of July 4th when he got a frantic call from Kayla.
What he tells the police is that she called me and said, I need help because I've just shot Dominique.
I need you to come here right now.
Stay tight. I'll be right there.
Jarrell says that when he got to Kayla's house, he found her in the backyard over a smoldering fire.
Jarrell states that it was also Kayla who had taken Dominique's body and had burned it. She only called him after all of this had been done.
What the hell are you doing?
It's not working.
However, Jarrell does admit that he helped Kayla load Dominique's body into the back of his car.
They drive out to a wooded area, to the country, and that is where they leave the body.
But you didn't kill him. No, I was just there to help.
He's really surprised and disappointed that Kayla has come in and basically thrown him under the bus.
She played me for a fool.
Stand up. You're under arrest.
Unsure if Jarrell is telling the truth, the detectives take him into custody.
He is still arrested for the abuse of a corpse.
Then, after locking up Jarrell, the detectives confront Kayla with Jarrell's version of what happened.
Hey, listen here. Let's get past this. Tell me what happened between you and Dominique, okay? Let's not talk about everybody else. Talk about you two.
She broke down. The fear was on her face. She knew that she had to come clean.
Let him, man. It's okay. Get this off your chest.
When Kayla finally regains her composure, she says that she's finally ready to tell detectives what really happened.
I just don't know what I've been through.
She began to tell the investigators that she had lived 10 years of an abusive relationship with Dominique.
But Kayla says that she had eventually reached her limit.
You were being abused, and you had to have a way out.
According to Kayla, that's exactly what happened on the evening of July 4th.
Her two daughters were inside the house while her and Dominic were outside the house.
Just degrading me just all kind of ways. Just yelling and screaming.
Then, according to Kayla, he'd pulled a gun.
He said, I would kill you. And I jumped in the car. And I remember, going around the car. And that was the passenger door open.
Kayla said that as Dominique opened the door, she stomped the accelerator.
Not just gas it. And it hits him, the passenger door, and knocks him down. And he falls, and the gun falls.
She says a scramble for the gun ensued.
And I just beat him to it.
She admitted that she had shot him.
But she did it in self-defense.
Kayla Nelson has admitted to shooting her longtime boyfriend and the father of her 2 children.
However, Kayla claimed that she had shot him in self-defense.
She insisted that she was abused by Dominique.
Dominique got physical with her, and in order to protect herself, she pulled a gun.
I didn't mean for it to happen like that.
But is that what really happened? Detectives have their doubts.
He was shot in the back. If it was self-defense, that bullet wouldn't have probably been lodged in the back the way it was.
They also have to consider that Kayla may have had a motive.
A few weeks before the murder, Dominique discovered he had a 4-year-old daughter with another woman.
I don't understand why you gotta get involved at this point. It's been 5 years.
It's because that's my daughter, and I need to be there for my daughter, just like I'm here for our girls.
Oh, the hell you are.
Nothing is gonna change between
Yes,
us.
it does, Dominique.
I'm not doing this right now.
The motive behind Dominique's death was this new 4-year-old daughter, along with just a resentment of all the sacrifices that she made for the sake of Dominique.
He got you pregnant when you were still in school. What did you graduate at? You were valedictorian? Oh my gosh.
Kayla had a promising future. And the one thing that pretty much stopped her from really pursuing her goals was she was pregnant. Perhaps she thought about the things that she could have been or where she could have gone.
Despite claiming self-defense, what Kayla admits she did after Dominique was shot seems far more calculated.
She tried to destroy any remains that had been left behind, but basically trying to make this man disappear off the face of the earth.
She admitted to forging the note, implying that Dominique was involved with gangs and drugs.
You didn't want to be a suspect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're telling me?
Mm-hmm.
Stand up. You're under arrest for murder of Dominique Whitaker.
But in the end, it was all for nothing.
Kayla is charged with first-degree murder and the abuse of a corpse.
News of Kayla's arrest stuns all of Arkadelphia.
No one could have imagined anything such as this happening.
Having known both Kayla and Dominique, it was just mind-boggling, really. But I didn't know that she was capable of doing what she did.
Kayla's claim that Dominique had abused her for years is almost as shocking.
Kayla's story was different from the recount from his friends.
People in the community told the police how he was just very relaxed and laid back and kind.
His mother, his sister, never saw him put a hand on her, never even raise his voice.
So Kayla's story is starting to fall apart.
Facing long odds, Kayla's attorney approached the prosecutors and negotiated a plea deal.
It was in her best interest to take a guilty plea and save herself from being in prison the rest of her life.
If we went to jury trial, there would be a very good chance that the jury would give her a life sentence.
She was sentenced to 31 years in prison.
The judge gave her 25 years on first-degree murder, 6 years for damaging a corpse.
I was personally kind of shocked that she got such a short sentence.
Dominique's family isn't just shocked, they're outraged.
They wanted her to get life in prison.
Kayla would be able to get out when she's 47 years old. Her life will be able to start over. His life was cut short because of Kayla, and his family are still left here to pick up the pieces.
The family is equally disappointed when Jarrell Yarber, the man who helped Kayla dump the body, cuts his own deal with the prosecutors.
In December of 2011, Gerald Yarber pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 493 days in jail, along with 18 years of probation.
This may have been justice served for some, but for others, it was nothing more than a slap in the face.
No one wins in this situation. And you have these innocent children who are without a father.
There's nothing that can make up for what Dominique's family has lost.
Dominique had been a very quiet man, but a good father, and really tried to be.
She was a college senior with a bright future ahead of her.
My sister, she had a beautiful soul. She had a zest for life.
She was one of a kind.
Everybody just adored her.
But then she vanished.
Anitra, you home?
Nobody could reach her.
It's going to voicemail.
They just have that gut feeling.
We just kept praying that she was okay.
The investigation will uncover a disturbing pattern.
Somebody had busted out her windows.
She did. Told her not to got afraid to eat.
He had been stalking her.
And it was no idle threat.
This young man was broken.
He's a monster. He watched her die.
Do you think this is funny?
I knew then the devil is real.
2020. It's Valentine's Day in Fort Valley, Georgia. A town of 9,000 that's home to Fort Valley State University.
Fort Valley is a small college town. Anything that's happening has to do with Fort Valley University.
Fort Valley State University is a well-known historically Black university that is home to over 2,000 undergraduates.
It's well regarded in the area. It produces some talented students every year.
But on this Valentine's Day, one of those students, 22-year-old Anitra Gunn, is nowhere to be found.
Anitra was her dad's princess, so naturally, her father reached out to her on the morning of Valentine's Day to wish his princess happy Valentine's Day.
Hi, you reached Anitra. I'm not able to come to the phone.
He's unable to reach his daughter. He calls, no answer. He texts, no answer.
He got really concerned.
Leave a message and I'll call you back.
Hey, this is your dad again. Call me when you get this.
It isn't like Anitra to be out of touch.
Anitra lost her mom very young, and Mr. Gunn raised her essentially by himself. They had a very close relationship. They talked, if not daily, every other day.
The fact that Anitra did not get back in touch with him made him feel like something was going on.
Often as parents, we have a gut feeling if something isn't right.
His worry growing, Anitra's father reaches out to her boyfriend, DeMarcus Little.
Anitra's father contacted DeMarcus to ask if he'd seen Anitra.
Hello? DeMarcus Little was a soldier at Fort Gordon, which was a couple of hours away from Fort Valley.
Maybe Anitra had gone to see him for Valentine's Day. Or maybe they had gone somewhere together.
But DeMarcus says no. He hasn't seen or heard from Anitra either.
In fact, I was about to call you because she's not picking up her phone.
The level of worry and concern and alarm skyrocketed for Anitra's dad. He knew something was up.
It seems like she just vanished into thin air.
Anitra Gunn was the glue that held her family together.
Anitra played the role as the peacemaker. She was just a humble person.
Anitra was our mediator. If people in the family was arguing, she would call like, hey, you know, what's going on and why? And, well, you know how this person is. She made sure family stayed family.
It's like instantly just hearing her voice like gives you a calming spirit, a light in the midst of darkness. That's how I kind of felt like she was.
And there had been plenty of darkness in Anitra's life.
Her mother died in a car accident when Anitra was a teenager.
After the tragedy, Anitra and her siblings had to rely on one another.
We always had each other back, but I also believe that once our mother passed, me, my brother, and my sister became even closer because we was all we had to get through this, because it was the first time that a close death had happened to us. And so we shared that bond with each other, knowing that we've been through a lot.
But Anitra's closest bond was with her father.
After my sister passed, they moved with their father to Atlanta. He had to step up as a father. He did. He stepped in. He was like, now it's time for me to do what I got to do for my children now, because they only have me.
With her father and siblings' loving support, Anitra managed to move past the tragedy and finish high school.
She was very popular. She always been, very kind and outgoing.
She just always had high spirits and positive energy.
Anitra was also an amazing singer.
She had a voice of an angel. She was always singing.
Any type of song, any gospel song, anything like that, she could sing it.
But animals were her true love.
She was extremely passionate about animals.
Dog side the road, wounded. A cat side the road, wounded. She take him in.
It was her love of animals that brought her to Fort Valley.
She wanted to go where she could specialize in something that she loved.
She dreamed of becoming a veterinarian.
Fort Valley State was the perfect place for her.
At Fort Valley, the aspiring vet proved just as popular as she had been in high school.
She was definitely the life of the party.
And it was at a party in 2019 that she met DeMarcus Little.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm DeMarcus.
Okay. DeMarcus, my name is Anitra.
There was an instant attraction there.
So, what's your major here?
Oh, I'm not a student, I'm in the Army.
Oh, you're in the Army?
Yes, ma'am.
She was very excited about him because he was in the military, so he had something going for himself. He had lost his mother too, so they connected on that level.
From that night on, DeMarcus and Anitra began a long-distance romance.
He was stationed in Augusta, Georgia.
They were texting and calling and texting and calling all the time.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
And he came to see her in Fort Valley whenever he could get leave.
His family lived there. He had a room at his aunt's place.
They spent the better part of a year kind of going back and forth, getting closer.
But now on Valentine's Day of 2020, Anitra has failed to return any of her father's calls.
He waited and waited and waited. Anitra did not get back in touch with him.
When he called DeMarcus,
He said Anitra wasn't returning his calls either.
Desperate to find his daughter, Anitra's father makes another call.
He reached out to her landlord to see if he could check to see if she was okay.
The landlord went over to the rental house and let himself in with his key.
Everything seemed normal. He didn't see any signs of struggle or breaking and entering.
However, the landlord does notice something out of place.
Anitra had a dog, and it was just roaming free in the home.
Where's your mommy?
This is very unusual. Normally, when she would leave the house, she would put her dog in the crate while she was gone.
And so he knew that something wasn't right.
"22-year-old Anitra Gunn was on the path she'd always dreamed of.
She was studying agriculture at Fort Valley State University, the first step to becoming a veterinarian.
She'd also found love with a 24-year-old soldier named DeMarcus Little.
He was really looking forward to creating something committed with Anitra.
But now, Anitra has mysteriously disappeared.
Her dad had been unable to reach her.
Anitra's father asked the landlord to go by the home and see if everything was okay.
There was no sign of Anitra, but the dog was not in the crate that she always put it in when she left home.
Something was amiss.
No.
Alerted by her landlord, Anitra's father calls the police.
It's a very common thing, especially around finals time or spring break. We'd get 4 or 5 phone calls of parents who hadn't heard from their children.
When officers arrive, the landlord lets them into the home. But they don't see any cause for alarm.
They didn't see anything out of the ordinary.
The police figure it was just a case of miscommunication.
But by the next morning, February 15th, there's still no word from Anitra. And her father decides to take matters into his own hands.
Anitra!
He decided to drive down to Fort Valley, Georgia, about 100 miles outside of Atlanta, with her brother to go and check for himself what exactly was going on.
They get there and goes to her house, knocks on the door.
Anitra, you home?
There's no answer. Her car is not in the driveway.
Unsure of what else to do, he decides to call Anitra's boyfriend DeMarcus a second time.
No, she's not. Hey, so this is...
DeMarcus was in town on leave.
I'm gonna go to the police station.
He shows up worried about what might have happened to her.
While Anitra's father heads to the station to file a missing persons report, DeMarcus and Anitra's brother set out to search for her.
They will start driving around town, trying to look for her car.
Once at the station, Anitra's dad brings the police up to speed.
He explained that she still wasn't answering her phone.
All night last night, wrong way 3 or 4 times, not just going to voicemail.
But as Anitra's father is talking to the police, DeMarcus calls to say that they found her car.
They located her vehicle 2 blocks from her residence.
Tell them don't touch anything on it, okay?
Then the police drive to where DeMarcus and Anitra's brother are waiting with the car.
The bumper was ripped off. There was a lot of debris around it that wasn't from that area.
Inside the car, the police find Anitra's purse.
They found her wallet, and it had money in it and her credit cards. The only thing that was missing was her cell phone.
Hoping to learn more about Anitra, the police turn to DeMarcus.
You the boyfriend? The ex.
DeMarcus explained that he and Anitra were in a bit of an on-again, off-again relationship.
Y'all not together. You just still mess with each other.
He also says that they ran into each other the night before Valentine's Day.
We had went to a party Thursday night.
They danced, they talked, they went out to Waffle House to eat with their friends until like 2 o'clock in the morning.
We was good. We went to Waffle House and everything. We was straight.
In fact, DeMarcus says things had gone so well that he and Anitra ended up in bed together.
We came to my aunt's house and did what we did. And we woke up next morning just talking.
But he says that at around 11 o'clock that morning, Anitra had left.
Call me later, right?
Yeah, I'll, like, after my interview, okay?
All right.
And she left, said she had to go to an interview. So she left, and she sent me a text at 11:53.
Can you show me?
After questioning DeMarcus, police have Anitra's car towed in for processing and then follow up with DeMarcus's aunt to verify his account.
She corroborated DeMarcus's story.
His aunt saw them when she got home from work.
About what time was that?
About like 3:35.
She's a nurse and works late.
I saw the security light on, and I saw somebody standing at the door. And when I opened the door, it was Anitra was standing in front of him, and he was behind her.
She says that when she left the next morning, Anitra's car was still parked outside.
It was parked next to my husband.
When she returned home in the afternoon, Anitra's car was no longer there.
Based on what DeMarcus and his aunt said, it seems like they may not have been the last people to see Anitra.
Back at the station and hoping for a lead on who Anitra could have been in contact with after leaving DeMarcus's, police follow up with the other friend she'd been hanging out with the night before she disappeared.
Her friends had confirmed that they were all together at a party and then went out for some late-night food afterwards.
They said that everything seemed fine between DeMarcus and Anitra, too.
However, Anitra's friends also add another angle to the mystery.
Anitra was dating another gentleman by the name of Scoot. There was maybe a love triangle type of situation.
Learned that the missing college student was seeing another man in addition to her on-again, off-again boyfriend, DeMarcus Little.
Anitra wasn't in an exclusive relationship with DeMarcus.
As police are interviewing family friends, there is a name that continues to come up.
His name is Franklin Jennings.
Everyone around Fort Valley State knew him as Scoot.
Once they've identified Scoot, detectives bring him in for an interview.
They want to know what was the scope of his relationship with Anitra.
According to Scoot, there really wasn't much to tell.
I wouldn't really say it was a relationship.
He was just a friend, somebody who would come over and they would just chill, watch movies.
But they were, at least on one occasion, friends with benefits.
He does admit to the police that they were intimate one time.
But it ain't nothing. She told me that it ain't nothing.
Anitra decided to friend zone him, if you will, and he was okay with that.
And he denies seeing Anitra on Valentine's Day.
Face to face, I haven't seen Anitra since then.
However, Scoot said that Anitra did send him a text that morning.
Yeah, I'm gonna show y'all. Right now, 8:11, I did. I'm gonna come to your house.
There were several text messages he got the morning after Anitra was last seen.
He thought that kind of odd because they were just friends, they were just kicking it. He didn't have plans with her for Valentine's Day.
Scoot says he called Anitra to see what was up.
I called like 3 times.
Leave a message and I'll call you back.
His calls kept going into voicemail. Then Anitra texted him back saying, "I can't talk right now."
Then Scoot says he got another text.
We had each other anymore. It was on right there.
He thought that that was extremely strange.
He began to put it all together.
There's somebody that I know what they're talking about, so we've been friends.
He became suspicious that those text messages may not have been sent by her.
And Scoot suspects he may have glimpsed the person sending the texts.
He said he was outside when he was supposedly texting Anitra, and he saw a car that he didn't recognize circling the neighborhood.
Every time I get a text, it's like I see him off the way.
It was kind of in tandem with the weird text messages he was getting.
Scoot says he had eventually decided to confront whoever was behind the strange texts.
He messaged Anitra's phone back and said, "I don't know what you all got going on, but I'm not the one to play with.
After that, he noticed the text messages stopped and the car stopped circling around his neighborhood.
According to Scoot, it was only one of the many strange things that happened in the month or so that he'd been hanging out with Anitra.
There had been an incident that had occurred a week and a half prior to Valentine's Day.
She tells him that her tires on her car were slashed and her home was vandalized.
A brick was thrown through her window.
I asked all at school, if you dealing with some girls, so there's girls stuff. Land tires and I got windows. And she was like, no.
According to Scoot, Anitra had a pretty good idea who was behind it.
She just told the guy that got crazy head, you know.
But she didn't specify which ex it might have been.
Suspecting the angry ex may have escalated things further, detectives decide to reach back out to Anitra's friends.
They hoped one of them could identify which ex she was referring to.
The police asked them, do they know of anyone that might have a vendetta against Anitra? Anybody that might be interested in getting revenge against her?
They find out about another ex-boyfriend.
His name is Xavion Johnson.
This was an ex that Anitra dated a while back.
This ex-boyfriend had been stalking her.
According to Anitra's friends, it got so bad that Anitra took out a restraining order.
Have just learned that an ex-boyfriend named Xavion Johnson had been stalking the 22-year-old college student.
He had been stalking her to the point that she had to get a restraining order against him.
He didn't really know how to fall back and let go and just let things be. So she got really scared about that.
Had she been right to be scared?
Police are thinking, did he have something to do with her disappearance?
When the detectives talk to Xavion, he denies having anything to do with Anitra vanishing.
Why don't you tell us what you know about Anitra?
I heard she was missing, but I don't know anything about that.
He also denied slashing her tires or breaking the windows in her apartment.
Look, I know I acted like a fool when we broke up.
He was kind of following her around campus, being a bit menacing.
But Xavion says he wised up after the restraining order and finally moved on.
I got a new girl now.
In fact, he claimed he spent Valentine's Day with her.
When detectives follow up on his alibi, it appears to check out.
Xavion's new girlfriend said he had spent the entire day with her.
His alibi being solid, the police kind of, stepped back and began to explore some other possibilities.
Thanks.
While the police regroup, word of Anitra's disappearance spreads on campus and throughout the small community of Fort Valley.
The Fort Valley community was very involved in helping us look for Anitra. They organized their own searches. They were there for us emotionally.
As the family holds on to hope of finding Anitra, one of her best friends reaches out to detectives and urges them to take a closer look at DeMarcus.
She painted a toxic, overbearing, abusive relationship that was totally different than the picture DeMarcus painted.
They have a history of very violent stuff.
It was a side of the relationship that Anitra's family had never seen.
I did notice that they were having quite a few arguments and disagreements. I did not know that they were physically putting their hands on each other.
She was telling me how he used to choke her, he used to just slam her and all that.
She was commenting on the fact that he was very physically aggressive with her. And that's a red flag.
And Anitra's friend feared that DeMarcus had done far worse.
He used to threaten to kill her sometimes.
Her friend said that she urged Anitra to stay away from DeMarcus.
But she says Anitra had a hard time letting him go.
Because she said, oh, he's so toxic, but she likes the fact that anything she wants, she can get from him. She has so much control over him.
It's enough to leave detectives wondering if Anitra and DeMarcus's pre-Valentine's hookup had taken a disastrous turn.
In my experience, and I've been doing this almost 30 years now, if the last person to see somebody is someone that they've had a tumultuous, volatile, then all that combined really made him stand out.
Police knew they were on the right track.
Everything, at least in my mind, pointed back to Mr. Wilk.
It wasn't looking good for DeMarcus, but detectives can arrest someone based on a hunch.
Hoping that someone has the evidence they need to make an arrest, the police make a public appeal for information.
Police often rely on informants of all kinds to help them in their investigations. They have a tipster line, of course. They oftentimes give rewards for giving any tips that might lead to the arrest of a culprit.
The hotline is swamped with calls.
This case was one of the largest and most high-profile missing person cases in the history of Middle Georgia. So it had gotten a lot of attention.
However, the calls fail to generate any leads.
Nobody really had any pertinent information that could lead us one way or the other.
Everything was just rumors, street talk, and speculation.
Until they get one call that's different.
This anonymous tipster had a lot of detailed information that was not released to the public.
You could tell just like there was something there.
Yeah, let me put you on speaker real quick.
If his story is true, it confirms much of what police already suspect.
He says DeMarcus told him exactly what happened.
Received a phone tip from a man who says he knows what happened to the missing college student.
The tipster agreed to speak with the police directly.
Once at the station, he starts by explaining that he and DeMarcus go way back.
This tipster was actually a longtime childhood friend of DeMarcus.
He said 2 days after Anitra went missing, DeMarcus texted him and said he needed to talk.
You know, I thought he was just upset that she was gone.
He says that when he met up with DeMarcus, that seemed to be where the conversation was heading.
DeMarcus told him that on the morning of Valentine's Day, he was really serious about getting back with Anitra.
Anitra and him were at his aunt's house. They had been intimate. It's Valentine's Day. DeMarcus professes his love to Anitra, pours his heart out.
I know we've only been hanging out a few times since, you know, the obvious, but I think we should really think about getting back together. I mean, we've been hanging out recently, and I just can't deny that we have a connection, like, serious connection, you know, and it just feels so right when we are together.
But according to the informant, DeMarcus didn't get the response he'd hoped for.
Please, okay? Not this morning.
She laughed at him.
She was not interested in being exclusive with DeMarcus.
So what did he do?
So he just lost it.
He becomes enraged. Enraged.
You
think this is funny?
Marcus, I'm not saying it's funny. I'm just saying
It's not.
it's just always emotional with you.
Because I'm emotional when I'm with you.
Right, and you want a relationship, and I'm not really interested in that right now, okay?
Seriously? Why not?
Because
we get together, you know that!
Calm down, DeMarcus.
He strikes Anitra.
What's wrong with you? What are you doing? Stop!
This is funny? You think this is funny?
First, he hit her, and then he ended up strangling Anitra.
This is somebody he had just professed to loving. Now he's killing her?
Almost always, strangulation is a crime of passion. Shooting somebody can be impersonal, but when you strangle somebody, you have to be looking them in the eye.
Most people don't realize how long it takes to actually strangle somebody. It can be anywhere between a minute to as long as 6 or 7 minutes. That's a long time to watch. the life come out of that person's body.
And as DeMarcus's rage subsided, he came to realize what he'd done. Then, rather than call the police, DeMarcus's friend says he had come up with a plan to hide her body.
DeMarcus had confessed that he had placed her in the trunk of her vehicle and dropped her off deep into the woods.
Said he drove so far up in the woods, they got hung up a tree. He lost his bumper.
In the process of that, the bumper came off the vehicle.
Do you know where that was?
He told me, kinda.
Not far from Anitra's home on Greer Road is where the tipster tells police that DeMarcus dumped her body.
After the interview, detectives head out to the location he indicated.
It was a pine thicket that she was left in. There was a trail that had all these saplings that had been run over.
They follow tracks that lead them right to this makeshift grave.
It was covered with all kind of leaves and limbs.
And that's where they find Anitra's body.
Detectives have little doubt they found the missing college student.
It's February, so even in Georgia, it's fairly cold out. So the state of her body was fairly pristine, given the circumstances.
However, they still needed the medical examiner to confirm the identity.
Police take Anitra's body to the medical examiner.
Then they make the difficult call to Anitra's family.
We got a call, and they said they need us to come to the police station because they were looking for DNA.
It became real. It became real. And we knew it was her. We knew it was her.
My mama received the phone call, and she was like, they found her, but she was gone. I've never felt the same since.
The DNA analysis confirms what everyone fears.
They found Anitra's body.
The autopsy also reveals how she died.
That examination showed that, in fact, Anitra had been strangled to death.
It was exactly what DeMarcus's friend had told detectives.
However, it isn't quite enough to charge DeMarcus with murder.
So far, their entire case hinges on their informant's word.
There wasn't a whole lot of physical evidence. There wasn't like blood spatter because she was choked to death.
Hoping to tie DeMarcus to the patch of woods where they found Anitra's body, the detectives subpoena his phone records.
If you have an Android phone, Google tracks everywhere you go. And all I have to do is send Google a search warrant, and I can find everywhere you've been.
And that was certainly true in DeMarcus's case.
His phone was in the woods where the body was for approximately 2 hours.
Detectives have uncovered cell phone evidence that places DeMarcus Little at the location where they recovered his ex-girlfriend Anitra Gunn's dead body.
According to the data, he was at the remote location only a few hours after she was last seen alive.
This is a heavily wooded area out in the middle of nowhere. There was no reason for anybody to be there.
That cell phone data implicated DeMarcus, and police knew they had their killer.
However, that's not all the cell phone records tell the detectives.
Law enforcement were able to get DeMarcus's cell phone text records, and they saw this pattern of these very abusive text messages.
I've seen far too many times where females and males as well have been in these relationships where they're constantly being talked down to. They're constantly, being told they're worthless or things of that nature.
Eventually, Anitra had had enough.
She was talking about how she wanted out of the relationship. This wasn't working. They needed to go their separate ways.
Detectives suspect it was Anitra's desire to end things with DeMarcus that caused him to end her life.
It's the classic, if I can't have you, no one can scenario.
Convinced they've identified Anitra's killer, the detectives bring him in for another round of questioning.
So I guess you heard Anitra's body was found.
Yeah. It's just awful.
At this point, detectives are trying to confront DeMarcus with what they knew.
Someone told us you guys have been having problems. That you slashed your tires, broke her window.
Yeah, that was me.
He admitted to throwing the brick through the window.
According to DeMarcus, it was pure jealousy.
About 2 weeks prior, Mr. Little made a surprise visit down to Fort Valley. And Miss Gunn was actually on a date watching a movie with the guy she was seeing there in town. And he threw a brick through the window.
But that's all I did.
I don't believe you, DeMarcus.
I told Mr. Little I thought he did it. And he swore up and down he didn't.
I would have never hurt Anitra. She was everything to me.
He kept referring to Anitra as his soulmate and how much he loved her.
But that doesn't stop the detectives from placing him under arrest.
He was charged with felony murder, malice murder, and aggravated assault.
In the state of Georgia, there are 2 separate ways to commit murder. Malice murder, which is with malice and a forethought, or felony murder, in which you committed a felony which resulted in somebody's death.
It's essentially the same as first and second degree.
Informed of the arrest, Anitra's family is angered by the depths of DeMarcus's betrayal.
He had been messaging me, you know, I love your sister. I will never do anything to hurt her. I'm looking for her just as much as you guys are. Anything I find out, I'll be sure to let you know. So I was definitely disappointed and angry.
Anitra's family wanted justice. They wanted DeMarcus to pay.
But when DeMarcus goes on trial in March of 2022, will justice prevail?
There is very little physical evidence that DeMarcus actually committed that crime.
Without his cell phone data, we never would have been able to prosecute this case.
The prosecutors rely heavily on those cell records as they lay out their case.
Those cell tower records nailed him because the cell tower records showed him at the exact location where her body was located.
When it's the defense's turn, they rely on one witness, DeMarcus.
He took the stand, saying that he did not commit this crime.
He's emphatic, he's defiant, he's insistent that he did not kill Anitra.
He kept professing how much he loved her and what she meant to him.
He told the prosecution, "You're trying to make me out to be a monster."
Him taking the stand, he was trying to personalize himself and let the jury see that I'm a human being too.
But if that was DeMarcus's objective, he failed.
His demeanor was very cold, just cold, staring straight ahead.
He didn't even look us in our face. The whole time he's sitting on the stand, he couldn't even look at us.
He didn't care how we felt. He didn't care what had happened to her. And if he did, he never showed signs of it.
When they put her up on the screen and he did not blink his eye, I knew then, you know, the devil is real. Because he never changed his expression on his face.
DeMarcus's testimony does little to sway the jury.
The jury came back in 2 hours.
They find DeMarcus Little guilty of felony murder.
However, the jury doesn't find him guilty of malice murder.
The jury determined that he was not guilty of malice murder because it was more of a spur of the moment. She's laughing at me, she hurt my feelings, and now I'm overwhelmed with emotion, with grief, with anger, with resentment.
The judge sentences him to life without parole.
Best news I ever heard in my entire life is when she gave him life without parole.
Was in jail. You can't get phone calls from heaven. It's not fair that we have to wake up every day and try to remain calm and knowing that it's something that's gonna stick with us for the rest of our life. It just wasn't fair for him to do that and then just not care at all, like not even one bit.
He never expressed remorse.
He was a narcissist. He didn't care about anybody but himself.
He saw women as a toy, as something that he could possess.
In the aftermath of Anitra's tragic death, her family hopes her story can serve as a warning to others.
A week after Anitra trial, a young lady called me and she was telling me about a situation that her friend daughter was going through with the same thing that Anitra was going through. And she was like, what do you think I should do? And I immediately do what's gonna save that person's life. Don't worry about